Hello, dear children. This is NR Jangid, and I welcome you on my YouTube channel Learning English with Jangid Sir. Dear children, today I have prepared a lesson for class 12th English core from the book Vistas. In the previous lesson, I have already discussed the third level part 1, means I have divided this chapter into two parts. So first part already we have discussed today and before we move on to the second part, just to revise what we have learned in the previous class, there is a question to discuss. What does the third level refer to? So dear children, I just want to remind you in short that our chief character in this story is a 31-year-old man, Charlie. His wife name is Louisa, and he has a psychiatrist friend named Sam. And as we learnt that third level refers to an additional floor at the Grand Central Station in New York, which originally only had two levels. Charlie was hallucinating, means he was just imagining one night while going home when he reached the third level. We have already learned that there are only two levels at the Grand Central Station, but Charlie thought he entered into the third level. And as we discussed, it was only the result of his imagination, and it was somehow an effort to escape the hard realities of life, to just divert his attention from the tension, from the anxiety, or from the day to day problems of our life. Now, what we have learned in the previous part, that he imagined as if he traveled into the third level. He saw so many things which resembled to the 19th, 18th and 19th century things. The dresses, the people, the railway platform, the rooms, the doors and windows design, even the people, their hairstyles, their beard style, everything was just like the people of 18th and 19th century. Finally, he went to the ticket window and he asked for two tickets to Galsburg, one for himself and one for his wife. And there, uh, the clerk at the booking counter, he said that the money which he had was fake currency, means he had the real money in his hands, but he thought that that money was not valid in 18th and 19th century, and it was true. So uh, the clerk threatened him for some legal action, some police action. That is why Charlie decided to leave the ticket window and come out of the third level. And that was that. I left the same way I came, I suppose. Here he says, I suppose. I suppose I came the same way I entered into the third level. Now, next day, what did he do? Next day, during lunch hour, I drew $300 out of the bank, nearly all we had. He had only $300 which he withdrew from the bank and bought old style currency. That really worried my psychiatrist friend, and he actually bought, or we can say he got old style currency in exchange of the new currency, because still he wanted to buy the tickets. He thought that he would go again to the ticket counter with that old currency. You can buy old money at almost any coin dealers. There are so many such dealers, there are so many such stores. They provide exchange services in currency. So in New York it is very common, you can easily get the old currency, but you have to pay a premium. But for that some extra amount, some bonus amount you have to give to the dealer. So he also gave some money to the dealer, My $300 bought less than 200 in old style bills. So he got only $200 in the old style, old currency of 18th and 19th century. He got only 200, while he gave 300 of the present time. But I didn't care. But he was not worried because he wanted to go to Galsburg. Another reason was what? Eggs were 13 cent a dozen in 1894, because he thought that with the $200 he would survive easily in Galsburg, because he thought that the things would be very cheap. Even he could get one dozen eggs in only 13 cent. Cent is a just like a smaller part of dollar, like a coin. But I've never again found the corridor that leads to the third level at Grand Central Station, although I have tried often enough. So after getting the money, he again went back to that corridor which led him to the third level, but surprisingly, he did not find that corridor. Means it did not exist. He tried many times to get into the third level, but he was not successful. Now the story is not over. Now you see, the real twist will come now. Louisa was pretty worried when I told her all this. He told everything to his wife, the experience of the third level, getting the money, old currency, and then going again, trying to go back to the third level, but he did not. He actually could not go there. So he told everything and did not want me to look for the third level anymore. And after a while, I stopped. So the wife also suggested him that you do not try to search for the third level. I went back to my stamps. Means he again took the hobby of stamp collection philately. But now we are both looking every weekend, because now we have proof that the third level is still there. Now you see, this is another of his imagination, second time imagination. Okay, my friend Sam Wiener disappeared. After some days, actually, what happened? All of a sudden, his psychiatrist friend Sam, he disappeared. Nobody knew where, but I sort of suspected, because Sames is a city boy and I used to tell him about Galsburg. I went to school there and he always said he liked the sound of the place, and that is where he is all right in 1894. You see, intersection of time. He imagined as if his friend Sam had gone to in the year 1894. Physically, we all know that this is not possible, but he just imagined. Again, he was trying to run away from the realities, dear children. Now, because one night, now he says he had a proof. What was the proof he is discussing? Because one night, fussing with my stem collection, I found. Well, do you know what a first day cover is? He actually found a first day cover. Cover here means envelope. So, what is first day cover? When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some and use them to mail envelope to themselves on the very first day of sale. You understood, I think. Actually, the stamp collectors, what do they do? They when some new stamp is issued, they just go to the post office, they buy the stamp, then they paste it on one envelope, write their own address and post it. After a few days, the envelope reaches to their own address and it becomes a memory. Okay, they call it first day cover. So on the very first day of sale, and the postmark proves the date. You can say the stamp of the post office. Date is also marked over there. So it is easy to remember that when the particular stamp was issued. The envelope is called a first day cover. They are never opened. Actually, they do not open these envelopes, because there is nothing in that envelope. You just put blank paper in the envelope that night. Now, what happened with him actually? Among my oldest first day covers, I found one that shouldn't have been there. Actually, he found such a cover, such an envelope, which should not be there, but there it was. It was there because someone had mailed it to my grandfather at his home in Galsburg, and the address written was of the Galsburg, and the name of Charlie's grandfather was written on it. That is what the address on the envelope said, and it had been there since July 18, 1894, and the post office date was also there, 18 July 1894. The postmark showed that, yet I did not remember it at all. The stamp was a 6 cent, and the stamp was also pasted. It was of the cost of 6 cent, dull brown with the picture of President Garfield. Naturally, when the envelope came to granddad in the mail, it went right into his collection and stayed there. So he thought that it was the first day cover of his grandfather. Till I took it out and opened it, the paper inside wasn't blank. It read. Actually, he just imagined. This is not a real letter. He imagined as if there was a letter inside it, and now he imagined to read it. Now, what was written in the letter? This is the content of the letter. Address is given, Galsburg, Illinois, July 18. Date is given. Now, surprisingly, this letter was addressed to Charlie. Now, how this is possible? That some letter which was of his grandfather's time, how it could be addressed to Charlie? So, this is out of imagination. I got to wishing that you were right. Then I got to believing you were right. And Charlie, it is true. I found the third level. I have been here 2 weeks, and right now down the street at the delis, someone is playing a piano, and they are all out on the front porch singing "Sing Nelly Home," and I'm invited over for lemonade. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. Keep looking till you find the third level. It is worth it, believe me. Now he in this letter was signed by Sam, means his psychiatrist friend, and he wrote that he found the third level. At the stamp and coin store I go to, I found out that Sam bought $800 worth of old style currency. Now he again went to the coin store, and he confirmed over there that his friend bought some money, old style money, that ought to set him up a nice little hay means dry grass feed and grain business. He always said that that is what he really wished he could do, and he certainly can't go back to his old business, not in Galsburg. So he Charlie here imagining as if his friend Sam went to Galsburg, and there he started the new business of hay, dry grass, and the feeding material to the animals and human beings, as well as grains. Not in Galsburg, Illinois, in 1894, his old business. Why Sam was my psychiatrist. Now here he was surprised why he wrote this letter, and he just says that since he was my psychiatrist friend, so it may be a method to treat the patient. So here I just want to tell you, dear children, that this is the second imagination. He created this imaginary letter in his own mind only. Now we will see some important questions. I hope you understood it. Do you think that the third level was a medium of escape for Charlie? Why? We all know that yes, the third level of the Grand Central Station was a medium of escape for Charlie. Modern world offers a lot of challenges, and in order to take refuge, in order to take just avoid it from reality, one might resort to daydreaming or hallucination. We all understand the miseries of modern world, which is full of worry and pressure. Thus, in order to take the burden away from his shoulders and heap a sigh of relief, Charlie resorted to escaping reality, although unintentionally. Second question: what do you infer from Sam's letter to Charlie? This is important question. The way Charlie discovered Sam's letter was rather peculiar. We can say it was strange. It was one of those first day covers people used to mail to themselves back in time with a blank page inside. So, to begin with, the cover had a letter in it and not a blank page in it. Secondly, the letter dates back to 18 July 1894, when Sam, the writer of the letter, did not exist. Sam was the contemporary of Charlie. How could he go to 1894? So did not exist because both Sam and Charlie exist in the present times. Thus it is sound to conclude that it was just a product of Charlie's imagination. Third question: the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry and stress. What are the ways in which we attempt to overcome them? How do we overcome them? One cannot count on fingers the negative aspects the modern lifestyle has to offer. We know so many negative things are there. There is stress, pressure, fear, insecurity, and worry also. In order to relieve yourself of all these troubles, all these pains, miseries, one can indulge in creative activities from time to time, making time for yourself and what you love without worrying about a productive outcome is a crucial thing many people tend to ignore in the hustle and bustle of daily lives. Secondly, one can read a good book of even or even meditate. Long walks in the lap of nature are not to be underestimated because nature has its own healing power. Apart from these, a short weekend getaway, movie night with friends, or even alone at home can be done in order to disassociate oneself from the routine. We also can relieve such type of worry if we have. Do you see an intersection of time and space in this story? Definitely. Yes, there are a lot of instances that tell us about the intersection of time and space in this story. First intersection being the one between the first two levels of the Grand Central Station and its third level, which is based somewhere in the 1890s, whereas the former exists in the present time. He actually thought of the third level in 1890s while he belonged to the present time. So here time intersection is there. Also, when Charlie went to buy tickets for Galsberg, which existed in 1894, while he and his wife exist in the present time. Not to ignore the old-fashioned architecture of the third level in contradiction to the modern interiors of the first two levels. Lastly, the letter dated 18 July 1984 that Charlie found also throws light upon the intersection of time and space, as both the sender Sam and the receiver Charlie exist in the present time. Apparently, illogically, sometimes turns out to be a futuristic projection. This is very important question. Sometimes we do some illogical thing, but that illogical thing can become a good hope for future also. We can find some new idea. While a lot of the world's greatest inventions were made by people who were criticized for their ideas, audiences used to mock at them for being illogical, citing the example of Thomas Edison who invented the light bulb. No one believed in him at first, but all he had was an idea and its realistic projection in mind. The idea here tells us how important it is to sometimes follow one's insight and have hope, for it holds the capacity to change the world, though it's through its futuristic projections. Means whatever we think, sometimes the illogical idea could be a good matter for research for future. Now here it is about stem collection. Philately helps keep the past alive. Discuss other ways in which this is done. What do you think of the human tendency to constantly move between the past, the present, and the future? Philately does indeed help in keeping the treasures of past alive. It gives one a chance to revisit and embrace the past of one's existence. Some of the other ways in which it can be done is by keeping a record of all the letters, ancient manuscript, things that are discontinued but were a significant part of the past, images, videos, and written records of experiences. Human beings are a collection of all the experiences that have been through. Their tendency to connect with the past from time to time helps them stay connected to the roots while helping them to face the present and future challenges with more strength. Connecting with the future, on the other hand, is just as important to know the outcome of one's current actions and decisions. If one does not seem satisfied with the realistic interpretation of future, it can certainly help in altering current actions to direct towards a better future. So these are the questions, dear children, we discussed. I will also test your knowledge through the Google Sheet. So once again, I request you all to learn through this platform so that you can utilize this time of lockdown. And again, I request you to like, share, comment, and subscribe my YouTube channel that is entitled Learn English with Jangid Sir. This is all for today. Thank you and have a good day.